So we're here at the Valley East Soccer Complex during one of the evenings when the soccer teams are playing, and I have with me three people who are key in a special event that is going to be happening during the playoff weekend. We have Annie Rose, who is the president of the Valley East Soccer Club, Richard Langlois, who is the in his second term as past president, and Kathy Langlois, who is a supporter of everything that goes on with the soccer club. So, just in a quick summary, how can you describe the Valley East Soccer Club? And feel free, anybody, to take part in this. But Anne, how many people are in it?
We have approximately 1,200 children and 400 adults that play in the leagues. They play anywhere between Sunday nights to Thursday nights.
So there's about 1,600 people registered?
Yeah.
About 1,600 participants. Yeah.
And that's more or less average? Like the last number?
We're down probably a couple hundred from last year.
But the Valley East Soccer Club has grown significantly over the years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's grown from when I got involved in it. I think we had about 600 or 700 kids in total, and then it's just leapfrogged into last year we had 1,800. This year we probably got around 1,600 total participants, and it's recreational. It's something we push, and it's not competitive soccer, so we try to make it fun and a learning experience for all the kids. And
what do you mean by not competitive? Because
well, we don't keep standings, we don't keep statistics for it. It's mainly for recreation. The kids come out, have some fun, play with their friends, learn a little bit about soccer, learn a little bit about life, and hopefully take something home and they can build on it for next year.
So that's basically the non-competitive aspect of it, that there's no standings. Yeah. But other than that, these kids seem to be pretty serious about winning and losing.
Oh yeah.
So you're not losing that.
That's nature.
That's right.
You don't lose that quest for getting better and competing with the other teams. It's just that there's no record kept.
That's right.
And you get into a playoff weekend, because the playoff weekend is kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like what happens during that? That's coming up next week.
That's when it gets a bit more competitive. It seems the season, is more fun building towards that, but it does get more competitive because then you're playing for first and second place, and it's the final wrap up for the year.
We keep standings. The kids see the boards up. They see where they're at, what they need to do to win, to make it into semifinals and finals. So there's a little bit more of a competitive edge during that weekend, and some kids take it to heart. Some, are still in there for fun, and it really doesn't matter to them.
Is it an elimination type playoff, or is everybody in the finals, in a final?
No, it's an elimination. Everybody's guaranteed their 3 or 4 games, and then the top 4 teams in each division will advance to play the semis and the finals. Okay. We finish off on the Saturday. Everybody gets trophies. Everybody gets pizza.
Okay.
If you move on to Sunday, you get your trophies on Sunday, but we schedule it so that at the end of certain games on Saturday, all the divisions get together for their pizza party. The trophies are given out to the teams who aren't moving on, and the teams the next day will get their trophies that move on.
If you had to put your finger on a few things that have been attractive about soccer, because I know you've had kids in the program as well, what is it that interests parents about soccer? Because it gets pretty hot, and it's the summer is pretty short as it is, but this is growing, and I think soccer is growing across the country. Actually, I think the enrollment in soccer exceeds hockey now, doesn't it?
Yes.
So what is it that people like about soccer?
Keeps your kids busy. It gives them something to do. It's, so for those parents that aren't necessarily traveling to go on vacation or, don't go to the cottage during the week, this is something for the kids to do. It cuts out some of the boredom of, summer months and doing nothing all day for the younger ones. And
we've always kept it too. It's funny how the soccer schedule goes. It goes Monday to Thursday, so every weekend's free. Parents love it. Unlike hockey or any other sport, you're playing your tournaments, your games, mostly all of them are Saturday, Sunday, Friday nights. So this way the parents love it. It keeps all their weekends free. So it's one thing that kind of run through over the years. The parents don't like playing weekends, and allows them to have a long weekend.
Right.
Kids can play soccer during the week after daycare or after babysitting or whatever they're doing, and
I
they
think
can
a
still
lot
go
of
to the cottage.
And a lot of the children too, it seems to be the type of sport that anyone can pick up and try and learn and get better at. If they can walk, they can learn to play soccer and kick a ball and build on their own skill. You don't have to be a superstar in soccer. It's great exercise. It's relatively it's quite affordable. It's very convenient. We have a beautiful complex here in the valley that the soccer club has worked for many years to try to expand. It's accessible. It's just a wonderful facility to come to. When June rolls around and we come out and see 800 kids here on the same night playing, it almost gives you goosebumps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fabulous feeling.
It's pretty inclusive too, because there aren't too many kids that can't play
That's right.
the game,
right.
right? Like
We
you
accommodate-
mentioned it's affordable.
You can walk and run, you can play. Unlike some sports, needs hockey. If you can't skate very well, you're going to find it tough.
And it's affordable.
But it's very affordable compared to most sports.
And I mean, we do have some children that have special needs that do play. So, so for a child that may be autistic, we can put them down a few divisions so that that they can play with children at the age that they function with. So we also have the ability to provide, some of the kids with special needs the ability that they can play, or at least be part of a team. So that's something else that's nice about this.
Is there anything in particular about the Valley East Soccer Club that's made it grow so much? Because I think it is the fastest growing club in Sudbury.
I would say it would be the volunteers who have. I don't sit on the board. From my perspective, I've had friends and my husband involved in the board for many years, and they work 12 months a year to make this soccer club as great as it is. And I think that that's been a huge part of it. And there's a community behind the board who is willing to keep registering their children and is supportive of all their efforts. And
so it's not just a 2 or 3 month thing then. It's
It's a year round.
It's a year round.
The club's always been, the 10 or 12 years I've been involved, we've always been a very accommodating club. We've always accommodated people. There's always this big issue of late registration, because we've got to wait for all the hockey people to finish hockey to come play soccer. Unlike other clubs in Sudbury, they have their 1 or 2 week of registration, and if you miss it, you're there for next year. We'll take registrations in June up until we get cut off by Ontario Soccer to register kids. If we have room in a team, we'll always take them, and for that reason, I think it's always been open door policy, people coming in.
And it hasn't been a big problem for your club, obviously, so there's nothing wrong with doing that.
There's moments, but it's a little extra work.
Yeah, it's a little extra work. Sometimes it becomes a little harder to schedule things or even things out. But I mean, we're doing this for the kids. It's not about trying to make things easier or harder for parents. It's about accommodating a child that wants to do something, and that's what's important. When we look at soccer, we focus on them, not on the amount of work that may be attached to that when you're having to register kids at a later date. It's about, well, you know what, if they're playing, they're happy, that's what we want.
And this kick in for food event that you're organizing, this is the first time you've done it.
yes.
It's kind of a neat initiative. Can you describe it?
We threw it around one night just talking and said, you know what, everybody's getting together here, and why don't we incorporate something? It was Kathy kind of pushed the idea, and I kind of, well, okay, if you want to go ahead and push it, go ahead and do it. But we got going and said, you know what, if there's 1,600 participants and everybody brings something and their families, we could end up with a large quantity of food that will do some good in the community. And everybody's hurting at some point in time. If it's not the strike we had for a year, there's families who do without and kids that do without. So it's a chance to give back, and an opportunity to get people involved and get the kids involved.
You always hear people talking about, like athletes talking about giving back to the community, and the volunteers are giving back by working. What's interesting about this initiative is it's like the whole organization giving back. It's not just 1 or 2 people or the volunteers. You're kind of involving the whole parents. Are you anxious to see just how well it's
really
going to be accepted? Or
Absolutely. I'm really excited to see
We got
how
off on a
it's
little bit of a late start on it, but we're going to push it this week, and I think it's going to be, people hopefully will come forward.
well, even
It's
on
more of a giving back, but an opportunity to give and just share.
it should show the kids something interesting too. Eh?
Absolutely.
Like they're used to doing this at school. Their class raises food and they have their Thanksgiving campaigns. But for a soccer weekend, when you're looking at the competition and to have the kids think about the community,
Right.
it's like, even if they only find out about it on Friday or during the week, they still have an opportunity to come back on Saturday and Sunday, and
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
and it's not just for the soccer parents.
Well, it's a start for this year. Anybody in the community, because you'll get grandmas, grandpas, aunts, and uncles, and relatives coming out this weekend. There'll be a lot of people out here to see the last weekend to see soccer.
Yeah.
So
And what we'd like to do is invite the community as well to join us by bringing, if they don't have anyone directly involved in soccer, we'd love them to still drop by and drop off some items for us. And yeah, it'd be
Now,
very exciting.
You know, what's interesting, Annie, right?
Yeah.
What's interesting, Annie, is that this was not a board initiative.
No.
Really, like, that's surprising. You've been president for a while too, and
it's never come up.
but it's I've been on boards too, and generally when the board is in operation, you don't get too many initiatives that are started by parents or people who are not on the board. It's why did you even think of doing this without going through the board? It's not a criticism. It's just very interesting that the board now can rely on the parents to
I think that
start
I
things.
felt really comfortable bringing it forward because I know just from firsthand experience in the involvement Richard has had and Annie has, that this board is in it for the kids, for the adults who want to play, and for our community, and that they would not have any issue with trying to do an initiative like that just helps the community come together even more. And this has been a particularly difficult year where we've seen horrific occurrences in our world, in Japan, in Africa, in our own community with the strikes. There's been a lot of very difficult human, real things going on, and I think it just kind of culminated to a time earlier in the summer when we just thought, wow, we are so fortunate and so blessed. What we can make a little bit of a difference. We're all together. The community is probably 5,000 different people tramping through here on the weekend, and if everyone helps a little bit, it'll make a huge difference.
it could have some surprising results. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
could.
the first year for it, so I think to get it up and going, and hopefully future years it'll become a regular part of the weekend tournament.
Do you see this being something that the board might adopt as an annual event that the board runs?
I would think so. I think that the idea behind it is fantastic. And I mean, we live in a great community. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better place. And I think that when people come together like that, there's going to be success no matter how you look at it. So,
And it's really not a lot of work, is it?
no, it's not. I mean, people are coming by and they're bringing it to us. You know, I mean, we're going to have the location for them, and that's what it is. So, it's fantastic in that sense.
Yeah. We've got the fans.
The fans involved in the
The
part.
fans are involved.
And I mean, we're always open to having parents bring ideas to us, to help us make things better and improve. And so the fact that this idea came forward, I think is great. We really enjoy to have something different that we can bring forward to our players and our parents, and to challenge.
Could become an identifying mark for the Valley Soccer
And that
Club
would
too.
be great. That would be, that would be something special for us to be able to say that, our community comes together to this extent.
And I think that it will increase awareness for every single person who looks at the poster or sees the collection of food. But no, what are you doing this for? And then every time we have a chance to talk about that with someone and promote it, then the next time there's a food drive or there's constantly areas people can bring donations to, and it'll remind them that this is an ongoing need in our community, not just at Christmas, not just at Thanksgiving, at those special occasions. We need to think about this all the time.
Yeah. And what'll be neat too is we won't have to wait that long for the people who are looking at this to find out what the results were, because we're going to make sure that we come back and continue this video on Sunday, and we'll see just what the results are. And
That's wonderful.
That would be great. That's fantastic.
but the whole idea is just fantastic.
Thank you. In my field of work, I work in mental health and addictions, and So there's certainly a percentage of the folks that I get to meet, and I have the privilege of getting to know who count on our food banks in the city and are often feeling the need for a little bit of assistance to have good food. So we're really excited for the chance to just try to make a little bit of a difference for people in our community.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. As I said, the people who are looking at the second part of this video will not have to wait long to find out, but we'll have to wait a few days to find out what the results are. But
we have to wait until next weekend.
But in the meantime, the people who see it prior to the event, hopefully they do come out and participate. There will be a bin here.
Yep.
There'll be a bin at the big tent. There'll be 2 bins. There'll be some people there to receive them, and during the game, after the game, before the game. Bring your food.
Yeah, and really you don't have to have anyone playing soccer. If you're just driving by and you want to drop some food off,
Absolutely.
it's for the community. So
drop some food off, come watch some soccer. It's free. We won't charge.
yeah,
That's right. Free of charge.
and for the people who happen to be around, let's say from outside of Valley East, I mean the food is being distributed not just to Valley East but to the Sudbury Food Bank, which goes to all food banks. So it really is kind of fitting that it's for the city of Greater Sudbury, which is what we're part of. It's not just the Valley.
That's right.
But with 1,600 people coming through in the weekend, I'm kind of curious because
I'm very hopeful.
We'll see.
it doesn't take much for each family to bring out before you have a
Even one can
huge
per family.
amount.
One item per family. You're looking at 1,600 items right there. So, you know, if we have then aunts, uncles, and grandparents, extended family come as well,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd like to also mention that we're going to have a safe container for cash donations. So when I spoke with the gentleman from the food bank, he mentioned that cash donations are also really helpful. So we'll be able to collect those and issue tax receipts for them afterwards if they're leaving with their name and address. We can do it that way as well.
Perfect. So that's good. So that's the Valley East Soccer Club, the Valley East Soccer Complex, and the food bin's going to be out Friday.
Saturday, Sunday.
Now the dates. What are the dates? I'm trying to remember.
19, 20, no,
12th, 13th, and 14th.
12th, 13th, and 14th. Yeah.
2011.
That following weekend is your year-end party for the volunteers.
a week later.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Yes.
Good. And we're looking forward to seeing what happens. So thanks, Annie, Richard, and Kathy. Good luck with it.
Thank
Thank you.